Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. John here bringing you another best of 2022 list. Today, I'm going to share with you my top 5 scents in wet shaving. Before we get into the main list, I have to share with you an honorable mention. This one is a personal project and I couldn't go without at least mentioning it, and that is Voices, our collaboration with House of Mammoth. This was a collaboration between my podcast, Ladder Talk, and Ben from House of Mammoth. And more importantly, this helped bring awareness and raise some funds to donate to STOP AAPI HATE, that's Asian American Pacific Islander. This is a cause that's near and dear to my heart. Those in my family, those in my community are directly affected by the things that STOP AAPI HATE is providing information and resources for. So if you've never heard about them, I'll be sure to leave a link in the description. Please go find out the good work that they're doing. Anyhow, Voices had a starting point of mango sticky rice, a delicious dessert often found in Southeast Asia. If I smell it off the top here, it's definitely a gourmand, but it's probably a little more exotic for maybe some of you out there, depending on your access to varieties of Asian food. Personally, I couldn't be happier with how this scent came out. So, big props to Ben from House of Mammoth, and Gerard and I were just so happy with how this project came out. And that is why it's my honorable mention, because it's a project we were personally a part of, and being my very first soap collaboration, whatever you want to call it, just so excited. So Voices is the honorable mention for this list. Moving on to number 5, this is a fairly recent pickup, so this came towards the end of the year. It is Katie's Bubbles X, and X or 10 years of Katie's Bubbles. Again, congratulations, Chris Cullen. He is a mainstay in this wet shaving community. He's in various Facebook groups. He's on the Lather Talk Discord. He, for someone who's a self-proclaimed introvert, he makes himself available and is very knowledgeable on soap making, perfuming, and professional wrestling. Now, what surprises me about X is that this is a rose-forward scent, and I've never considered myself a huge rose fan. But it's there, and in the right combinations. I'm thinking last year of Luther Grooming, Namka, oud and rose and other stuff. I guess I like rose in the right combination, and there's some, all the notes in X are featured in previous releases, and Chris kind of remixed them together to create this scent, and he really created something wonderful and unique out of those notes. I don't even really need to bring the tub to my face, and I'm just getting the goodness here. I'm just coming out, so it is a pretty stout scent as well. I do think for those who really don't like rose, you have to be at least okay with that note, but there's so much going on. It really speaks to the talent that Chris Cullen has as far as doing fragrance, because time and time again, I might not like every single soap that comes out from Katie's Bubbles, but for the vast majority, it at least piques my interest as far as the scent goes and fragrance goes. So here at the number 5 spot for my favorite scents in wet shaving this year, it's Katie's Bubbles X. Next up at number 4 from Ariana and Evans is Pistachio. And I don't know, I guess another gourmand is on this list, and I like a good, unique gourmand. I think that's what it comes down to, because pistachio, it does pistachio, and I can't for the life of me think of another scent that prominently features that note. It is definitely a sweet gourmand though, so if you like the bakery, if you like using soaps that remind you of maybe like a biscotti or almond cookie or something like that, pistachio, almond are both prominently featured here. Just overall, this triggers my sweet tooth. Even just recording, I kind of want to go out and go grab an almond croissant or something after recording this. And I'm pretty sure I said something similar when I shaved with it. It's a scent that makes me happy. I'm a fat kid at heart and a foodie at heart. And when I get a good gourmand, I just run with it. So there were so many releases from A&E this year. I couldn't keep up with them all, but I'm so glad that Pistachio got on my radar and is now coming to you at the number 4 spot for this year. Continuing our list of best scents in wet shaving for 2022, this one comes from across the pond, the UK. It's Luther Grooming, and we're talking about somber. So somber, I'm gonna use a term that apparently some of you don't like, cologne. I don't know, it's cologne-like. I mean, it's complex. There's a lot of things going on. When I say cologne, you can imagine finding this at your local mall or Sephora and spraying it on and having a jolly old time with it. Cologne, that's what I'm going for when I use that word. As far as samber goes, this is a rich, warm, gentlemanly scent. This to me is definitely a night out scent. This could work well on a date night, something more formal. It's got some sweetness in there. It's a very inviting scent. And by inviting, I mean, you're with your special someone, they want to snuggle closer, they want to get a closer sniff. If you play your cards right, it might mean something more later in the evening. If you get my drift, it invites other people to just kind of get in close to you. So let that be a word of warning or let that be a recommendation. Whatever the case, number 3 spot, Luther Grooming, Samber. Next on number 2, we have a collaboration between a soap maker and a indie perfumer. We're talking about Zingari Man and Rogue Perfumery, Mousse Illuminée. So Mousse Illuminée, it's been described as a modern fougere. I know that title does get thrown around a lot, but man, as far as fougères go, this might be my favorite, or at least one of my top 3 fougères, because here in the shaving world, we do like that old school classic fougere vibe. Clean, maybe barbershop-like. I don't know. I'd rather not use that term barbershop at all, given how it's lost all its meaning in the wet shaving world. But we're talking about Mousse Illuminée, and okay, so how much do I like this scent? This is one where after I got it in, loved it on first sniff, loved it after my first shave, I went back online and picked up the perfume itself. And this one's got, it's green, it's masculine, and it's got a little bit of sweetness too. I think it's that sweetness and maybe some of those citrus vibes that bring it into the modern day. But as far as fougères go, I mean, if that's your jam and you have not smelled Mousse Illuminée, unfortunately, I'm not sure if this is currently being made, but if it's not, that is a shame. You should go hound Heather over Zingari Man to make some more of this, because number 2 spot, Mousse Illuminée, this is one that I feel like everyone should get their nose on. Last but not least, at number 1, we have from Gentleman's Nod, Musashi. And this one shares some similarities to my number 2 pick, Mousse Illuminée. Not so much in the scent itself, but the fact that after I used the soap and aftershave, I went back for the perfume. That's how much I like them. Now Musashi, it checks a bunch of boxes amongst my favorites. It is a tea scent because it got notes of jasmine tea. It's got yuzu, which is a typically an Asian citrus that's used in both cooking and other perfumes. Yuzu, I've done videos on other scents that feature it. One example from the perfuming world is L'Eau d'Issei by Issei Miyake. That's kind of, I guess it's an old school scent depending how old you are. It was one of my earlier colognes, regular colognes in my lineup. I think that's what first started my love of yuzu. The third note that's listed on the lid here is woods. So yuzu, jasmine tea, and woods. It's a great, I think, all year round scent. I think that's what makes this a very versatile, enjoyable scent. So at my number 1 spot for best scents in wet shaving for 2022, it is Gentleman's Nod Musashi. All right, so that's my list for 2022. Now I know there are so many releases, there are so many wet shaving artisans out on the market today. So I'm gonna ask for your help. Let me know your favorites, your top 5 down in the comments below. Guys, I really do appreciate you clicking on this video, for joining me for this list. You know that I love scents, perfumes, and all that good stuff. It is one of my favorite parts of the wet shaving hobby. So thank you so much for letting me share that with you. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.